No one could have predicted the precise moment when the fever named Tomas began to ignite within the fandom of Beyond the Gates. But one thing was clear. Those sharp brown eyes became an intoxicating allure, drawing in viewers from every walk of life. From young hearts yearning for love to those souls hardened by loneliness, all swept into an inescapable vortex. Even the characters themselves were not immune to his appeal, though each touched Tomas in their own unique way. Some with longing, some with caution, some seeking salvation in him, and others suspicious, avoiding him as if staring into the abyss of their own being. Kat, hardened by many past wounds, was the first to see the darkness lurking behind Tomas's dazzling exterior. Yet she was also the first to want to pierce that mist and reach his heart, even knowing it meant facing nameless dangers. Yet it was at the very moment Kat shed her armor, exposing all her deepest vulnerabilities and desires to Tomas, that his hesitation planted within her and the audience a seed of doubt that could never be quelled, that somewhere, deep down, their love might not only be challenged by the past, but also by secrets never revealed. Evermore, where the night sky rolled in like velvet, was the perfect backdrop for all these psychological tempests. In the golden light stretching across cold stone walls, Kat appeared as a sharp incision amid an atmosphere of opulence and loneliness. The lavish parties of the upper class, where empty smiles were exchanged, became the perfect backdrop for the dance between Kat and Tomas. Two intense yet lost souls, drawn to each other by the terrifying resemblance in their loneliness and their longing to belong. Kat, who had kept her soul closed off after years of pain, recognized Tomas as a kindred spirit, the only one who understood the desolate echoes in her chest, yet also the only one who could shatter all her illusions of the false peace she had built around herself. The tension between them came not only from smoldering looks or teasing words hinting at desire, but from all that remained unsaid. Kat always sensed something unusual, a darkness threading through every moment Tomas touched her hand, the way he smiled but his eyes drifted away, the way he sighed when he thought no one was looking. It both drew Kat toward Tomas and made her afraid, as if each step closer brought her nearer to collapse. She knew too well the feeling of betrayal. Her parents had left behind a void that could never be filled, their breakup echoing with arguments and tears, leaving Kat lost in the vast Evermore estate, alone with the enduring cold of Eldervale. Tomas appeared like a strange wind carrying the scent of somewhere else, a way out or another pitfall. She didn't know, but her heart chose to believe in him, even as her mind repeatedly warned of something incomplete. Meanwhile, Eva entered Tomas's life like a hairline crack in an otherwise perfect pane of glass. Eva lacked the proud beauty or overt confidence easily recognized, but embodied a resilient determination and a dangerous gentleness, the kind born from surviving too much loss to ever live superficially. Eva carried secrets of her own, secrets that could shake the Richardson family, and Tomas sensed this keenly. They were like two parallel lines, moving together through dusk in Bill's old office, where Eva quietly sorted through papers no one else would touch, while Tomas faced his past in old verdicts. And in the silence between them, an invisible bond formed, stronger than any visible tie to Kat. Day by day, Tomas gradually realized a strange empathy existed between him and Eva, as if two lone wolves recognized each other in the wilderness, though each still struggled to survive in their own way, bracing themselves against the ghosts of their pasts. Eva alone witnessed the moments when Tomas was lost in his own room, where all lights and sounds faded, leaving only himself to face unanswerable questions. She didn't ask, didn't demand Tomas prove anything. She simply sat there, enduring the night with him. In that silence, Tomas found a comfort he'd never known with anyone else. Not even Kat, the beloved woman he knew he couldn't give all his truth to. The secret of Tomas's identity became a burning topic, not only among fans but also in the hidden corners of Evermore. No one truly knew the real him. People began to recall glances not meant for Kat, moments when Tomas showed undue interest in certain men at parties, as wanting to say something but always holding back. The curious public picked apart every detail, the way Tomas's hand rested on a colleague's shoulder, The way he gazed toward the balcony when Kat tried to draw attention. The times he disappeared from events without explanation. The question of whether Tomas was truly gay or simply lost remained suspended like a sword over all those who had wagered their hearts on him. Kat, trying desperately to hold on to Tomas, felt him slipping away all the more. Her unease grew daily as she saw Tomas sinking ever deeper into a mysterious bond with Eva. Not a passionate affair, but a quiet, steadfast, discreet attachment. Kat sensed the danger, not from Eva as a rival, but from Tomas himself, someone who could turn his back at any moment for a part of himself she could never touch. She began scrutinizing every gesture, every grimace, every sidelong glance from Tomas, as if, by being observant enough, she could find the answer to the question haunting so many hearts. Did Tomas truly love her, or was she merely a shield for some truth he couldn't reveal? The nights at Evermore grew colder as Tomas withdrew from parties. Kat no longer received late messages, nor tight hugs banishing her loneliness. Instead, she heard rumors of Tomas being with Eva at odd hours, or walking with someone along the lakeshore, where all secrets were safe in the dark. Kat began to panic, even hiring someone to follow Tomas, hoping to find evidence, even the tiniest fragment that could save her crumbling trust. But the more she tried, the more she discovered Tomas was a labyrinth with no exit, where every theory about his sexuality, love, and inner turmoil was just the tip of the iceberg. Beneath the cold, perfect exterior, Tomas was struggling with himself more than anyone could imagine. Childhood trauma, familial rejection, the fear of exposure, these forged a brutal inner conflict. Some nights Tomas stood before the mirror, staring into his own eyes and not recognizing who stared back. Was it the man Kat loved, the stranger Eva understood, or just a child who'd never had the courage to live authentically? In the dark, Tomas wondered if he could ever love Kat as she deserved, or if he was cruelly using her as a shield for unspeakable longings. Tomas and Eva's relationship, though not loud, became a stronghold for both amid chaos. Eva knew what Tomas hid, perhaps more than he did himself. She didn't judge or demand, simply offered silent friendship, shared sleepless nights, and faced the fears they both understood but never named. With Eva, Tomas found a strange freedom, to be himself if only for a moment, even if tomorrow everything would return to falsehoods. Sometimes Eva seemed to want to draw Tomas into a bond deeper than friendship, but she knew too well their mutual limits. Their feelings blended empathy, pain, and a love beyond ordinary boundaries, a love that required no name, existing solely to save both from loneliness. The storm of doubt grew when some of Tomas's past secrets were exposed. Old letters and photos emerged of Tomas in intimate poses with an unknown man in Eldervale, where he had lived before Evermore. When Kat faced this truth, she was not angry, just quietly heartbroken. She realized love wasn't enough to change a person, let alone force Tomas to choose between himself and a world he'd never let her into. Acceptance came to Kat like a long rain, soothing but cold. She let go not because she stopped loving, but because she understood true love means allowing the other to live authentically, even if it means losing them forever. Meanwhile, Eva became the only person Tomas could truly open up to. Together, they passed through the long nights of Evermore, needing no promises or labels, only each other's presence. Two lost souls, finding solace in their mutual wounds, trying to heal and build a corner of peace amid life's storms. Tomas no longer needed to hide or avoid anyone's gaze. With Eva, he found freedom. With her, she found a reason to keep living, to keep loving, even knowing she might never receive the one thing she desired most. As the story closed, there was no perfect ending for anyone. Kat learned to forgive and let go, rediscovering herself through loss. Tomas confronted the truth, accepting the cost of loving in his own way. Eva remained a friend, soulmate, and silent witness to all that Tomas never dared say aloud. Somewhere outside the frame, Evermore still stretched under the pale moon, holding all secrets and unanswered questions of those souls who once wandered its halls. And in the end, the question of Tomas's sexuality, love, truth, and deception still hung in the air, a note without resolution, burning in the hearts of all who had loved, suffered, and hoped for that small miracle. To live authentically, even if just for a fleeting moment. Kat's uncompromising leap into the deep waters of feeling shattered the fragile boundaries Tomas had so long maintained. In her desire for complete love, Kat transformed the isolated tower into a convergence of expectation and anxiety, pouring all her heart into the dreamlike setting, every detail steeped in meaning and longing. That was the moment her every defense fell away, leaving only the fragility of a woman yearning to love, to belong, to master her own heart after so many times being cast into darkness by doubt and betrayal. When Tomas appeared, wrapped in emerald silk, golden light streaming down, every emotion climaxed like electricity running through Kat's trembling fingers, in Tomas's wide-eyed, ragged breath. The night drifted by in good wine, whispered stories, shattered memories and distant dreams, the two of them orbiting closer than ever, almost close enough that all secrets might dissolve in the heat of passion. But fate always has its own way. When Kat finally bared her last sincerity, spoke of her hopes, her longing to be part of each other, Tomas retreated. His gesture, his eyes, once her haven, now turned cold, distant, a shuttered window blocking every attempt to draw near. His rejection was not a sharp blade, but the ground breaking underfoot, sending her spiraling into confusion, shame, and an unnameable rage. Tomas's answer, that the fault was not hers, that there was something inside him he could not name, only made it worse, for secrets are always the enemy of the deepest love. The viewers, accustomed to Beyond the Gates' dreamy, half-real drama, immediately poured all speculation onto Tomas. Every detail was examined under the microscope. His looks at Julian, the charming and reckless stable manager, the quiet moments with Eva, every smile, every shoulder touch, every hesitation when asked about the past or about love. The question, is Tomas really gay? Blazed fiercer than ever, because ambiguity always drives people mad for answers, like an unreachable itch, an unresolved mystery never permitted under the glaring light of truth. Eva, the woman who entered evermore with Parisian ghosts and a stormy artistic life, quickly became another focal point in this tangled web of emotion. Unlike Kat, fiery, proactive, fierce, Eva was a woman of silence and strength, a listener, someone who could sit in quiet with Tomas for hours without any promise. Between them, the unsaid was deeper than any flirtation, and in that space, Tomas slowly opened up, revealing layers never shown to Kat. Their afternoons restoring old walls, half-finished cups of coffee at sunset, Eva's look when Tomas was desperate for honesty. All wove a tight bond, both salvation and barrier. This was not the wildfire of passion, but the harbor of one lost too long at sea. Under the audience's sharp gaze and those around Tomas, his portrait became more and more complex, harder to grasp. Sometimes, Tomas seemed on the verge of opening up, sharing everything, but fear would pull him back, drowning him in shame or self-doubt. Was he truly gay, and were Kat's hopes all an illusion? Or was he just a soul wounded by the past, never having learned how to love completely, or still trapped in a self he'd never named? The question haunted not just Kat, but Tomas himself, standing at a crossroads, to live truthfully or continue hiding, hurting others to protect himself, or bravely stepping through his own fear. If one day, in their search for truth, Kat and Eva both discovered that Tomas loved another man, a secret even Tomas hadn't fully faced, the fragile balance at evermore would collapse like dominoes. Kat, experienced but broken, might react with anger, betrayal, shame, and desperate loneliness. That night, she might wander alone on gravel paths, heels echoing coldly, tears streaming down her face, but ultimately forced to face the reality that sometimes the greatest love is the one that knows how to let go. Kat would have to accept that she couldn't change Tomas's core truth, nor love for him what he could not. Real happiness only comes when we dare face ourselves, even when that facing is heartbreak. Eva, unlike Kat, might greet the secret with profound sympathy, a gentle pain born of her own many wounds. She would know that the barriers inside Tomas were his alone to break. Eva might become his confidant, the keeper of his secret, the silent witness as he faces himself, the quiet companion. But she, too, would have to wrestle with the question. Is it ever enough just to be a support, when her own heart has longings never answered? Eva would have to choose between remaining the sole friend, keeping Tomas safe from the world and himself, or leaving, seeking her own escape from an endless cycle of incomplete relationships. For Tomas, the moment Kat and Eva uncovered his truth might be the end of years of hiding, and the beginning of a new life, one of honesty, however lonely and tearful, but also freeing. He might spiral into self-doubt, lose direction, torment himself, leave evermore, or one day, find the strength to return, face the past, and say what he's never dared admit. Scenes of Tomas standing alone in the dark, light falling on silent tears, or an unfinished letter to Kat never sent. These could become the most haunting images of the season, staying with viewers long after. Beyond the Gates will never offer easy answers. Every character must walk their own journey, face their personal abysses, break or accept old boundaries, learn forgiveness for themselves and each other. The question of who Tomas is, what love really means, whether sexuality is the greatest barrier. These will continue to hang suspended like a gate no one has fully opened, leaving tremors in the audience long after the show ends. On every gray stone path of evermore, in dim-lit rooms where dreams and secrets are buried, the story of Tomas, Kat, and Eva continues, with no conclusion, like all true journeys of the heart.